his praise before he blessed me with his words to you all.
Amen.
My name is Brother Albert Campbell. I'm executive member of the Circle of Brotherhood. And if you don't know now, you're going to know that we are the very, very best of every one of those organizations that you read about or heard about in the past. So if you heard about the Black Panther Party or Martin Luther King or SNCC or COOL or MOVE, we are the very, very best to come out of all of those great organizations of the past. And I'm so honored to be an executive member. And I'm humbled to be in your presence. As Brother Lyle said, I served 22.3 years in federal prison. I lost my daughter when I was in prison. I lost all my aunts. I lost all my uncles. I lost all my grandparents. I lost almost everybody I knew within those 23-year period. I want to ask a question. How long did it take you to finish school? In law school?
Law school is 3 years.
How long?
3.
3? So, but you had to go through 12 years first of regular school and then 3 years?
4 years of undergrad and then 3 years of law school.
4 years of undergrad and 3 years of law. So that's 12, 3, and 4.
I don't know if it is the math, but yes.
Right? How much is that? 12, 3, and 4.
19.
How much?
19.
19 years. So it took you 19 years and everything that you've been through to get to this point in your life. Right? So I went to prison when I was 30. So just like you went to school to get to a point where you got in your life, my learning came from drug dealers, drug users, robbers, rapers, molesters, physical abusers. That's what I grew up in. My whole life. Right? And so when I think about the public defender's office, and I think about my first time being arrested after going through my college, because I went to school, right? But when I went to school, it was like a vacation for me to get away from the hell that I grew up in. So one time I went to school, I came home with a report card, it had all F's on it. And even though my mom was a drug addict and a drug dealer, when I came home with them F's, she didn't beat my butt, she beat my ass. And I don't know, y'all ain't my age, y'all don't know how we used to get ass whooping. The police didn't come. They beat us with anything that they could grab, right? And so I said, well, I don't like the butt whoopings. So I got to figure out how I can make good grades, because when I'm in school, I'm thinking about, is my stepdad beating my mom to death? Or has she overdosed? So I'm not paying attention to school, but I'm on a vacation to school, but then I'm still, my mind is at my house. What's going on with my mom, right? Because we lived across the street from a funeral home. And on me and my brother leisure time, which is very strange to me, we would walk around in the funeral home and looking at dead bodies in the casket. I mean, it wasn't strange because we seen people getting killed in the neighborhood, so we seen people getting gunned down, you know. And so after doing that for a while, I started having nightmares and daydreams about seeing my mom in the casket. So I'm thinking like one day I'm gonna walk in this funeral home and I'm gonna see my mom in the casket. And sometime I walked in there and it looked like her. So my mind thought. So that's how I was raised. And so after all that, I found myself getting locked up my first time. I guess a public defender. But back then they tell you, hey, you can get pretrial release, you can get out. pretrial release would get us right out. Then normally they'll tell us do a year probation, go to some program, and go do this and go do that, and you have got to catch the bus to get there, and all this stuff there. So for some reason, most of us don't never finish the program. Therefore, we end up with a conviction, right? And so, in my federal sentence, I got time for all of those convictions that I call myself copping out to, but didn't finish the probation. So those convictions, they ran my time up. So I got like another 15 years for getting out on pretrial release when I was young. And they just let you out. Back then, they just let you out. And you could tell us to do 1,000,000 years probation, and you could say one thing: I'll let you out, and we gonna get out. And, you know what I mean? Go back to the same thing that we was doing, right? And so, after doing all that, you know, I kind of raised up in the streets. Because I wanted to perfect something that my mom and stepfather did. They were selling drugs and using drugs. And since the postman, I didn't want to be a postman, I didn't want to be a garbage